Hello, hello, welcome back to Talkin' Tunes, and today we are taking a look at the 21 tunes on the unofficial Genesis live album, Live in Poland 1998. And you might be sitting there thinking, wait a minute, 1998? The Calling All Stations tour? Seriously? Yes, seriously. Starting with song number one, No Son of Mine. Um, you know, uh, you know, in classic Genesis fashion, starting with a song from the previous album. Um, the song is tuned down to fit Ray's voice, who does a fantastic job. And in fact, this version fits the tone of the story a whole hell of a lot better than the original version. The original version, it's just not ominous enough. This version fits the ominousness. The one thing it does worse than the Phil Collins version, Ray doesn't do the ending yells quite as well. He doesn't do those ending yells quite as well. But apart from that, I think this is honestly the best version of No Son of Mine. I'm serious. I'm very serious. Song number two, a land. I'm having a stroke. Song number two, Land of Confusion. Another Genesis classic. As much as I shit on, 80s pop Genesis, Land of Confusion is a fucking great song. It's tuned down a little bit to fit Ray's voice. Performing a second Genesis classic is a great way to, get the fans on the new guy's side. The new guy, obviously, being Ray Wilson. It's a great way to win new fans over. Unfortunately, this version of the song doesn't have the bite that the original version does, and that has to do with it needing to be tuned down to fit Ray's voice. That being said, this version of the song does not make it sound like a Genesis cover band. All right? It doesn't. There's points later on where they do, but that's only twice, and for a very specific reason, and a very dumb reason. Song number three, The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. The whole song, the crowd goes nuts when they hear that piano intro. Ray absolutely fucking nails it on this song. His take on the song is different from Peter Gabriel's version, and it's obviously different from Phil Collins' version, but it is faithful. It is faithful. He even does the down, down, down thing that Phil does at one point. But he only does it once. Not like Phil, where he sings it every time, and it's annoying. But Ray absolutely nails it. The song is played in the original key. It's here that Near Z proves himself to be a worthy substitute for Phil. They play the whole song, not just a part. It's not like they play like when they did the old medley on the previous tour in '92, where they just played the first three verses. No, they play the whole song, all 5 minutes, and it's fucking great, fucking fantastic. And they should have done more of these. I will elaborate on what I mean by that when a little deeper into the album. Song number four, Calling All Stations. We have entered the new material now. It blends really well following something as energetic as The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. The live setting adds to the atmosphere of the song. Apart from that, and my thoughts on the song, see my original review of Calling All Stations on this. This video was originally going to be part of that video, but when I got to the end, I realized I totally forgot to do it, and it would have added a good 5 to 10 minutes to the video, and that video was already a good 20 minutes long, and at the time, my internet was not going to upload that in a timely fashion, so, yeah. Let's see. The song actually has an ending now. That was a problem with a lot of songs on Calling All Stations. Most of them fade out because they forgot to write endings for them, unfortunately. Song number five, Alien Afternoon. I wouldn't have picked this one. I would have picked something like In the Cage. But, It is a live version of the studio track. There's an extra guitar solo at the end provided by Anthony Drennan. Song number 6, The Carpet Crawlers. It comes in, it cuts out like the beginning bit. It comes in with the crawlers cover the floor of a red oak corridor. You know, it's another classic that shows that this is still Genesis. A different version of Genesis, but still Genesis. All right, nobody in 1991, when We Can't Dance was released, nobody in 1991 would say that, that's the same Genesis that made The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. Okay, nobody would say that. But this is still definitely Genesis. It's not Invisible Touch Genesis, right? This is Calling All Stations Genesis, but it's still Genesis, and Ray does a fine job. He does a fantastic job at recreating Peter's vocals. Again, they should have picked more Gabriel-era songs for this, but they didn't, for some reason. Song number 7, There Must Be Some Other Way. This is a live version of the studio song, except the bass is a little bit more pronounced, and Ray just kind of fucks off for the long instrumental portion. That's a problem. When your frontman just kind of disappears off the stage for a while, and this happens multiple times, because they didn't give Ray an instrument. He could play guitar. Like, they didn't even give him a bass or anything. Obviously, when Phil disappeared from the front of the stage, he was drumming. Because he was the drummer of Genesis. He was also the frontman of Genesis, but he was the drummer, if you're one. But, yeah. It's kind of a problem. But only from a visual perspective. If you're listening to it, it sounds perfectly fine. And that's not a dig. That's not a dig at the musical quality of this. It's a dig at weird decisions that Mike and Tony made. Song number 8, Domino. They should not have picked this one. This should have been Dancing with the Moonlit Night. I will elaborate on that later on. But this should have been a Moonlit Night. It's tuned down. It doesn't fit well with the rest of the stuff they've played up until this point, including Land of Confusion and No Son of Mine. It doesn't fit that great. It doesn't help that I don't like the song very much to begin with. That might be part of it. But this is one of the times where it does sound like a Genesis tribute band, because they have to tune it down in order for it to fit with Ray's voice. I'll give my opinion on this song. I'll elaborate more on it later on. Probably later on this year. This might be another Genesis heavy year. Sorry, but I like Genesis, so not really. Song number 9, Shipwrecked. It has a Wish You Were Here inspired intro where they actually tune in. They have Ray up there with like a little portable radio. They actually tune in to local radio stations from where they are, and then they launch into the song. And apart from that, it's a live version of the studio song. I don't have a lot to say about a lot of these. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but yeah. Song number 10, Firth of Fifth. Only half of it. It's only the instrumental bit and the solo, so it's really annoying. They should have performed the whole thing. Fuck Domino. Fuck Home by the Sea. They should have performed Firth of Fifth in its entirety. I want to hear Ray Wilson sing Firth of Fifth. He did that with Steve Hackett about 20 years later. Go look it up. But still, he should have performed the song in full. He just fucks off for about 5 minutes, and they only perform half the song. That being said, the half of the song they do perform, they perform pretty goddamn well. Anthony Drennan gets really close to Steve Hackett's studio tone at one point, and Anthony Drennan doesn't play it note for note, but what he does adds to the feel, adds to this version, and once again makes it still feel like Genesis. If you're wondering where Daryl Stuermer was, he and Chester Thompson were out touring with Phil Collins. If you're wondering why Chester Thompson wasn't involved with this album, go watch my Calling All Stations review. I will link that in the description down below. Song number 11, Congo. Ray re-enters the stage without his trench coat. For a lot of the time, the footage kind of has this green tint to it. Or not green, has this blue tint to it. I'm assuming that's to do with the lighting and also the quality of the video I was watching on. It was, broadcast on Polish TV in 1998, so obviously it's not going to be in 1080p, but it is in 16:9. And shot like it's meant to be in 16:9. So yeah, it's pretty cool. But here it tints to green. I'm assuming that's to do with the change in lighting. It's a pretty good performance. It's and it's the best version of the song because there's like a verse. Like, there's an extra verse or epilogue or bridge thing that didn't make it to the studio version, and I don't know why that is. I don't know if the studio version fades out before we got to it, if they thought it would be too long for the radio with it. I don't know, but they perform it with it, and it's really weird, and as a result, it makes this the best version of Congo. Just the best version of Congo. Song number 12, Home by the Sea. This should have been One Man's Fool. One Man's Fool is a great song that got gypped. That should have been performed live. Ray definitely puts his all into his performance, but the song just doesn't blend well with everything else. It's the same problem with Domino. It doesn't blend well with the poppier versions, or with the poppier openers. It doesn't blend very well with the 70s classics or Calling All Stations material they've performed so far. And then Ray just fucks off during the instrumental half of the song again. And then this is the annoying thing. Dancing with the Moonlit Night, but it's only the opening, except not quite. They stop just before they know who you are, they don't give a damn. Right before they would have to, put down the acoustic guitars. Like, I'm angry. This should have been performed instead of Domino. This should have been performed in full instead of Domino. But no, because we can't have nice things in this world. Fuck! I want to hear Ray Wilson sing Dancing in the Moonlit Night in its entirety. That would have been so cool. But no. Fuck you, Mike and Tony. Oh my god. And the crowd goes apeshit for it too. It's annoying. They were this close to greatness. They could have won back some fans if they had played those 70s classics. But no. Because god damn it. Follow you, follow me. It's nice to hear them perform their first number one song, Genesis that is. And it's neat to see Tony with an acoustic guitar. It's neat. It's not a sight you saw all that often after Peter Gabriel left. Song number 15, the Lover's Leap portion of Supper's Ready. The crowd goes nuts. Ray does a fucking fantastic job, and I want to hear him sing the whole thing, but of course not. Because, once again, we just can't have nice things, god damn it. Granted, Genesis probably wouldn't perform the whole thing at this time anyway, because, why the fuck would they do that? Why the fuck would they win back their Ride or Dies? Hey. Song number 16, Mama. This fits way better than Home by the Sea. Ray's voice fits the tone of the song so well, and he does a damn good impression of the laughs that Phil Collins does. He does a damn good impression of the ha 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 ha. Oh shit. He does a really good impression of that part of the song. And he's mentioned in interviews that Mama is one of his favorite Genesis songs. And he fucking puts his all into this, man. Like, again, still Genesis. Different version, but still Genesis. Song number 17, The Dividing Line. The extended intro, Near gets a chance to show off. There's some fun interplay between Mike and Anthony. I mean, it gets properly proggy. Tony's keyboard tone has been fixed. It doesn't sound stupid. It doesn't sound like, video game sound effects. It sounds like it actually belongs to the song now. Not that The Dividing Line is a bad song. I don't remember that being a specific criticism on the studio version of the song. But if you want my thoughts on the song, it's a good song. I will, again, link in the description to my Calling All Stations review. But, yeah, Nir's drum solo is a lot longer. There's a fantastic, it's a fantastic song made even better by a live performance, a phenomenal live performance. If there is anything, if you don't want to spend the full 2.5 hours listening to this, which I understand, people got shit to do. If you don't want to spend the full 2.5 hours listening to this whole performance, listen to The Dividing Line from it. I will link it in the description down below. It is fucking phenomenal. Fucking phenomenal. Just a great song. Just a great song. Song number 18, Invisible Touch. It's clearly only being performed because it has to be. Ray doesn't half-ass it, but he's definitely not all that interested in this one. Yep. Turn It On Again. This is a great song. It's a great performance. The song fits Ray pretty well. Ray then has the audience thank the band, starting with the new guys, Anthony Drennan and Nir Z. He moves on to Mike and Tony. And then he goes, and from Scotland, me! I think it would have been nice if Mike or Tony could have gone and went, and from Scotland, the one and only, the very talented Ray Wilson. But those guys aren't much for frontmen. I understand why they didn't do it. But, yeah. Song number 20, Throwing It All Away. This should have been I Know What I Like. That would have been way cool. He actually performed this with Steve Hackett at the same time he did Firth of Fifth. So that would have been cool. I'll try to find that. I'll try to track those down and link them for you. If I didn't mention before, he also performed Firth of Fifth in full with Steve Hackett about 20 years after this album. Or after this live performance. So yeah, I will link that in the description down below. Apart from that, See Invisible Touch, this still fits better than Domino and Home by the Sea. Yeah. Song 21, it's the final song, I Can't Dance. It's also here. Ray fetches someone from the audience, and he also plays the harmonica part. Even if I could say go buy it, I wouldn't say go buy it. What I will say is definitely worth a listen, apart from fucking Domino and Home by the Sea. Those are boring as hell, and they sound like Genesis cover albums. Those should have been more classic 70s Genesis classics. That's not me shitting on the band's ability to perform. That's not me shitting on Nir Z or Anthony Drennan or Ray Wilson. That's not me shitting on Mike and Tony's talent for performance and songwriting. It's me shitting on their decision-making. All right? But yeah, and if you don't have time, listen to the version of The Dividing Line from this, and listen to this version of No Son of Mine. It's fucking phenomenal. Unfortunately, the tour didn't help the impression of the album, and Genesis kind of disappeared for about 10 years, and then they reunited with Phil Collins to do the Turn It On Again tour in 2007. Thank you all very much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, leave a like on it. If you have something to add, if you think I'm wrong, if you think I missed something, please feel free to do so. Please feel free to tell me that in the comment section down below. If you want to hear me talk about something other than music, I have a podcast with two of my buddies. It's called Dorkies. I will leave a link to that in the description to the latest episode of that in the description down below. And if you want to hear what I happen to be listening to that day, or a 15-second segment at least, you can follow me on Instagram. I will leave a link to that in the description down below. This week I am celebrating the 50th anniversary of also a Genesis album of A Trick of the Tail on my story there. So that's what's going on there this week. Yeah, with that I would like to remind you all to stay weird and keep jamming. See you in the next one. Take care.